ever be to you is the darkness we once knew, and this regret I got accustomed to. Once it felt so right, anticipation at its height, waiting for you in the hotel at night. I knew I hadn't met my match, but every moment we could snatch, I don't know why I got so attached. It's my responsibility, you don't owe nothing to me, but to walk away I have no capacity. He walks away, the sun goes down, he takes it in, and I'm grown. And in his way, in his cool shade, my tears dry on their own. I don't understand, why do I stress the man when there's so many real good things at hand? We could have never had it all, we had to hit a wall, so this is inevitable withdrawal. Even if I start wanting you, a perspective pushes through, I'll be some next man's other woman soon. How can I play myself again? Should just be my own best friend, not mess myself in the head with stupid men. He walks away, the sun goes down, he takes it in, I'm grown. And in his way, in his cool shade, my tears dry on their own. I wish I could say no regrets, no emotional debts, 'cause as we kiss goodbye the sun sets. Now we are history, your shadow covers me, the sky blazes only lovers see. He who walks away, the sun goes down, he takes it in, and I'm grown. And in his way, in his cool shade, my tears dry on their own. He who walks away, the sun goes down, he takes it in, and I'm grown. And in his way, in his cool shade, my tears dry on their own.
Good evening and welcome to the Outer Space Arcata Variety Hour Open Mic. That was Zira's Star Child covering Tears Dry on Their Own by Amy Winehouse. Shout out to Zira. She was one of the amazing poets I got to see yesterday up at Redwood Park. Word Humboldt hosted an event. I got to see all sorts of amazing talent, and it was a bit of an emotional roller coaster, but it was really good to be there in person. And so tonight we're featuring a full hour of spoken word. And if you have something to offer us live, we can host live participants. Just make a comment and we can connect. But otherwise, we're going to be sharing a full hour of Word Humboldt spoken word acts shot yesterday by myself. I was very happy to be there, and shout out to Dylan Collins, who is a big part of that group. I know Dylan as Teacher Dylan at Glen Ball School. So he not only is he an amazing poet and person that can connect us, he's a great teacher too, real kind, compassionate guy. So here we go for a full hour of Word Humboldt.
Let's get right into it, y'all, and read some poetry to each other, express some words. Like, it's been a hard year, and it's really great that we can still do this outdoors under the trees. So yeah, y'all ready for some poetry today? Say yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the first to the stage, I want to hear the loudest noise you've ever made in your whole life. Make sure they know we here, and we here for Tori. First coming to the stage, give it for Tori, everybody.
shout out to the people on Tuesday that helped me with this poem at the workshop. Usually rigid, sorry, let me start over. Usually made of brown recycled cardboard, rigid, with 4 flaps at the top, 4 at the bottom. You push down what's inside to make room for more. Be productive, be efficient, be perfect. That'll make it feel less empty, I think. More worthy, pack, so you can move on. Tape it shut. And then there's more abstract constructions, manufactured by others, shipped to our minds, priority, first class. They're less tangible and therefore harder to lift up. We pretend they don't exist because maybe if I don't acknowledge I'm trapped, I won't be. My desires, who I can love, how I can love, what I can ask of people I love, how I spend 40 plus hours a week, 39% plus of my waking life, and the lifelong conditioning that creeps into the other 61%. There's so many walls attached to the flaps. The shallow spectrum of emotions I'm allowed to feel, the even shallower range I'm allowed to express based purely on my package. It makes me so angry. The privileges based on surface features that distract me from my real wants and needs and take away from others. It's never enough and always too much. When everything you need isn't in these boxes, they're more of a shell, a cage with a shackle, a dark room with walls closing in on you. Boxes like these need to be broken down too, like any other, but they definitely shouldn't be recycled. My happiness exists outside of these boxes. In fact, the most important part of moving on is unpacking. Lots of work, heavy lifting. Boy, is it heavy. Just ask my therapist. My stale attachments, I couldn't bear to leave behind, unpacked. Added so much weight, left little room for others, for myself, the real me, my real wants and desires, the fact that I need to be held, supported, and I'm no less because of it. I've accepted there's nothing to these boxes but red tape, cold, artificial plastic. In breaking down, I'm really breaking free from the lack of rhyme or reason from an assembly line that mass produces boxes. I'm finally feeling inspired and no longer so confined and tired, and I want to inspire you too. And if that makes me a radical, then fuck you.
That's what I'm talking about. Everybody give it up for Tori real loud. That was an amazing way to start. Those are some beautiful words. Thank you, Tori. Tori came to we did a writing workshop online on Tuesday, and I thought it went really, really great. And we had about 10 people come out, and we brought some work that we are working on. It's a little different. It was Iron Sharpens Iron workshop, and everyone kind of gave feedback to each of their poems, and I think everyone got a lot out of it. So be checking out that for we're gonna do another one next month, so definitely check that out. All right, y'all, keep the amazing energy going. You're doing great so far. Give it up for JW all the way to the stage.
Hey everyone, thanks for being here. A lot of you know me as Jeremiah, but my pen name and kind of transitioning to JW, so I appreciate that if you call me by JW. I have some stuff on YouTube, so if you like what you hear, you can look up JW Seaborn, and I have some poetry with the original music going with it, and pretty proud of the work. It would mean a lot to me if you checked it out. So this piece is called Take Shelter. My best buddy once told me a story about his old dog and what happened when his family moved. the dog's eyes weren't so good anymore, and it never really established the new layout. It kept on walking into walls. It was the saddest thing. But then my buddy, he told me how he'd seen people fall into the same kinds of traps. They think they know the map, but they have it backwards. The map isn't static. Because of expectations, they keep getting rattled by the real deal. Now imagine that you're moving on. Or more so, your very own home. You come up with a plan, a layout for where everything will go. Your blueprints are set. You go to break ground, but they didn't tell you it's more of a remodel situation. The best laid plans of mice and men, and we're back to the drawing board again, so let's get into it. Where you knock out some old dividing walls, open up the space a little bit, tear out the old wallpapers, strip by strip. The thing is, this fixer-upper isn't a material structure, but a mental one. A shelter of our central nervous system, a home in my very heart. You and I, we still have a lot of remodeling to do. Now, the wonderful part about this work is, if you're ready, how much we get to choose. Which rooms you give space to. With that new tiled foyer, you can kick the shoes off your feet. Some self-care can bring down the anxiety. Cozy up in your den. Put some shag carpet in. Get comfortable in there. And those good feelings can be a source of confidence for later on. But does jealousy crowd the bedroom? Take up more room than you'd like to admit? Do regrets clutter the basement? As far as I'm concerned, there is always work to be done in the house of my heart. But it is good work. It is a lifelong undertaking. It is maintenance. And if every day we brush our teeth, bathe our bodies, why not make a habit of emotional hygiene and embrace the fact we are forever being repurposed? Find a way to get excited about the remodel. Find a way to get excited about the remodel and take shelter. Take shelter at home in your very heart. Make it livable. Be kind to yourself. And allow the space to change as it serves you best. And try to avoid being like the blind old dog for as long as you can. Thank you.
Yes, y'all give that one more time for JW. Everybody, read loud. Thank you, JW. We appreciate you. You're an amazing member of the community, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan.
All right, let's keep it going. Next to the stage is Chancey. Everybody, real loud, all the way to the stage. All the way to the stage.
Hi, my name is Chancey. Can you hear me? On?
Little closer.
Closer.
There you go.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay, so energy out there. I'm offering this song to all beings who have been suffering and just going through the heaviness of this last year. It's by Lauren Daigle. I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, you say I am loved when I can't feel the thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe. Oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe the only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Ooh, oh. You say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe. Oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe. Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. Ooh, oh. You say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe. Oh, I believe what you say of me.
Wow, what? Did y'all hear that? That was fucking beautiful. Give it up one more time for Chancey, everybody. Oh, that hit in my heart, man. So it's been a crazy year. We haven't had our regular home of Northtown, and like I've had some memories pop up from like the years past, and like I was just like, oh, I miss those times when we were there all together. But I'm thankful we found some other places in our community that have opened up for us and allowed us to have this space still. And so really thankful for that. And that was a beautiful moment. Like, don't forget. So yeah, let's keep the energy going. Y'all are doing amazing supporting everyone. Keep it up. Next to the stage is M, all the way to stage, everybody.
Oh man, that's really low to the ground, y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay.
Not that low.
Hello.
Can you higher the mic a little bit?
Higher?
Yeah, closer to your face. Yep.
Is that better?
Yeah. You're doing great, Em.
Yes, thank you.
Woo.
hello. I think, I feel, I am standing beside you. You think, you feel, you are standing beside me. We are standing here together, and nothing is ever calm. I think, I feel, I am standing beside you. You think, you feel, you are standing beside me, are facing one person each, facing you and facing me. We are facing each and other. I think, I feel, I am standing beside you. I think that you think, you feel, you are standing beside me. We are wondering what we must be seeing of each and other, and perhaps that what meets in between the between of us is a third. And if not a third, then who stands between I think, I feel, and you think, you feel? Whom are we making here together with each and other? Nothing is ever calm, and there is some kind of call between us, some bodies, sounds between your body and my body, a some embodied by what you think, you feel, you carry with you, and I think, I feel, I carry with me a sense of distance, dimension, and durability, as if any motion on and of our parts will make the whole open to collapse. I think, I feel, I am aware, and you think, you feel, you are aware. We look at each another and know, hear me, you, hear me, you, and hear you, me. We say this to each and another without ever opening our mouths. No disturbances. We are aware to disrupt the distances. The another stands between you and me, and you. Who does stand between us? What do we make of ourselves? How long have we been standing here, hearing the sounds that bodies make and the bodies that sounds mark? What if the body in between the between of us is just marks and sound? Nothing is ever calm. Nothing is ever calm. Nothing is ever calm. You think, you feel, you are, you reach me, and you and me reach. I think, I feel, I am, I reach you and me, and you becoming more than just this.
Yes, y'all give it up one more time for M, everybody real loud. Thank you, M, that was badass. All right, so we have one more poet in the first round, then the staff section, and then our feature, Nico. How y'all feeling? So I don't know how to tell you how excited I am for Nico, but we'll get into that later. but y'all, be ready for some, like, poetry like you've never heard before.
Ooh.
Next to the stage in the first round is Michael. Y'all better give up all you can right now. Give it up for Michael. Always. Michael left for a second. Sorry, y'all. Yes, so Alex, you want to do your breathing thing right now?
Sure. You don't want to switch with somebody from second round?
We could ask.
Does anybody from second round feel inspired to come now?
I can do it. I want to do it in first.
Okay, sweet.
Second round, all right.
You're David?
Yeah.
All right, give it up for David, y'all.
Good to see all your faces, or half of them at least. I got a couple short ones. Old shit, but fun shit. You have such a pretty smile. Every time you let it shine, that smile killed me. Dependent as I was upon it for my good feeling, it coerced me into doing your bidding. What I wouldn't do to see that smile. Men have waged war to bring a smile to a special face. I'm no better. Spread wide across white teeth, I begged to be chewed up, only to be spit out again. Your smile never cut as deep as its absence. Taken away, it pulled the wound open to make way for salty tears. Soaked into the skin, you surgically sliced with happy precision. Gladly, I once accepted the cuts. Your smile makes a striking figure, now I am struck down. The joy that smile once brought, only a fleeting memory that runs from me faster than the tears flow down my face into this open wound. That smile disarmed me. The rest of my limbs are too weak to use. You took away your smile, mine went along with it.
Woo!
There we go. Alright, so yeah, one more shorter one, and I apologize, it's all angsty shit today, so that's what we're doing. This one is called Animal. Crimson-tipped fangs dipped in false niceties, spread wide across a thin face, just wide enough to convince you of his sincerity, yet just far enough to make you question his motives. Sardonic, calculating, the smile does not reach his eyes. Empty, lifeless pupils, a self-satisfied gleam only present when pain is inflicted. Remorseless shores in an unforgiving ocean of malice, hungrily devouring shipwrecks in the storms behind his forehead. Lightning flashes, pearly whites, immaculately cleaned on the bones of a mother's child. He is proud of his work. Pride flushing the only color his dead skin shows, color lacking in all but his voice. Gentle as the streams that satiate his hunger are desperate, smooth as the eye of the storm, surrounded by turmoil and anguish, yet for now all seems safe. His soft tones lull you into a false sense of security. His soft tones hide his ill intent, till the only thing you feel besides his fingers closing around your throat is surprise. These fingers are long and thin, delicate yet firm. Practiced hands make for lighter work. His practice is not one that saves lives. He devours them. Picks their insides apart with surgical precision, his deadly instruments at the end of his arm's reach. Still, for now. He sits across from you, smile wide, hands neatly intertwined on the table between you, calmly narrating a nightmare. He stares at you with shark eyes. As you look into the black, you see not an inkling of humanity. He is an animal. Thank you.
Alright, y'all, so I just finished a new one.
Recent feces.
Just finished this at the workshop and got some new. Finally got it done. It's called Reasons.
Your mic doesn't sound on.
Yeah, that don't sound on, do it. My bad, y'all. Battery's on. Had to buy it's like a mobile generator that you charge. I don't know. No, this thing is plugged in. Well, I'm gonna read a poem off the mic while they work on it. Do you ever feel like this world tries too hard to make us say everything happens for a reason? We believe in fate like we believe in changing seasons, but some days it's hard to praise this master plan when there's systematic oppression from New York City to Gaza and Sudan, while we watch people die at the hands of police brutality from Raleigh, North Carolina to Humboldt County in Iran. I don't understand how we allow the bow to bend until it breaks, until it snaps like the limbs of those forgotten by these divine interventions as we divert our attentions to the ones in millions whose fate found television screens. Whatever our intention seems, our eyes lose focus on the fates of those closest. I've been hearing the phrase, everything happens for a reason, a lot lately, but my instincts innately made me doubt this. It is hard to listen to the final heartbeat of the woman who taught you how to laugh. We've lost our sons, brothers, mothers, sisters, our loves, our best friends, the pieces of us that cannot be replaced, and sometimes there is no reason. And it could definitely not be worse. It just needs to breathe. They mean well when they wish you the bliss that comes from letting go. Providence will place our paths where they should go, but life is so much larger than an uncaring collection of hourglasses, though. It's not a random callous tornado spinning us into the world with no purpose. It is poetry. Even at its worst, this life is poetry, and in the constellation touch that connects every unexplainable moment of this relentless, unforgiving life, there are occasions where the poetry we shake from the wreckage becomes the force in all of our hearts to believe in something. Magic beyond the limits of our sight. Thank you.
My voice is deeper now, because now I can actually produce. Like 2 years ago, I would have been shit out of luck. Bears in love. Lost is when the bears come out. I can't seem to walk anywhere other than makeshift graveyards. Wandering into a dark forest can be the only comfort us dead people have. The forest is an ugly truth. The sun lies like a dog playing poker as a bloated, waterlogged book on mortuary science falls through the thicket. It meets a hungry bear it will never forget. You will remember the bear. You will love the bear. You will let it eat you, since that is what the bear told you to do. You will feel its jaws wrap around your body. It will swallow you whole, if only to make you feel as though you should have chewed yourself to bits. The bear will introduce your coughed up bones to the faultless accomplice. The cub will chew the bones. If the bones move, he will complain. If they talk, he will complain. So sun bleach yourself. Burn your mouth shut. Become vulture's bounty. Allow the meat to fall off your bones. Sit silently and watch these desert waves. Your empty pages become filled, painted and pain and beauty. The bear he thinks he helped. He did, if only the way the vulture helps to kill. The desert opens like a blank book. The pages hungry and pure. It eats like bears. Like whatever it is that happens to the kids that get lost in the woods, he will remind you that bears are better than bones. You will love the bear.
Yeah.
The bear will not love you. Don't let the desert win. So, next up is the person who did that, my mom.
I'm not the bear. Okay, new shit.
New shit!
This is called A Letter to Pygmalion from His Beloved after Ode to Dido by Daniel Ruggles.
Oh!
Hey! Part 1. I do not know if my skin was released from stone or if it was your discretion to see that I am blemished. How much of my design is mistake left uncorrected or character traits fallen in love with? We have gone gray together. I wash rubble from my body still, wonder how much of it will wear away in this state of impermanence. Beholden to your goddess, to your hollered prayers for this existence, I fear our most simple moments might tarnish me in your eyes, that you might long for your chisel and hammer. You call me complete, only I don't know how to scrape these bones clean or how to forget an eternity inside myself. Do you not expect to find sand and dirt everywhere? What will you create out of dust coughed from my lungs for this hollowed out apology? I did not mean to bring with me this avalanche. I grow as much as your goddess allows. I clean ash from your skin, though you will not stop to rest alongside me. My heart breaks away from my chest with pressure placed in my hands, while in my dreams I run. Amidst your work of building this pedestal, how is it you do not see that I have always loved you, that I want to be your perfection? Tell me again, love, these marble veins do not detract from your wife's beauty, that her inevitable age does not ruin your best work. Up next to the virtual mic is my one true, most favorite poet of all time, Will Gibson.
Hi, so I'm Will and Susanna. We own Reworded Mobile Poetry Bookstore. You will be seeing us a lot around the area. We also have a permanent display at 420 2nd Street in Eureka at a gallery that will be opening mid-July. Until then, or June, mid-June. Until then, keep a lookout for that little table. And we have all kinds of great used books, Sam Sachs, Aaron Bradley, which I'm going to read from. We have a bunch of notebooks and things like that. We are literally starting. This is the first place we've been public right now. Thank you so much. Any support you can give that direction would be great. 10% of everything sold goes to Word Humboldt, so you'll be helping 2 small businesses at once. You can put that in your pocket, right? But yeah, any support would be greatly appreciated. It is kind of an offshoot of Word Humboldt, just kind of an extension of that. So there will be a lot of Word Humboldt events at the space and things like that. So look for that. Today I will be reading from a book that is for sale for $8 right over on that table, and you can buy it. It is Aaron Bradley. It's from a book called The Little Big Book of Go Kill Yourself. He is a very depressed individual, if you can't tell from the title, but he likes to make light of those troubles. That is his poetic device, is humor. So this is his poem, Unsolicited Advice for Falling in Love with a Divorcee. 1. Run, motherfucker, run! 2. Seriously, run, motherfucker! If you choose to ignore the aforementioned advice, know this: the person you have chosen to love has stood Sunday pillar still in front of a congregation of everyone they hold of value and promised to love one person forever. They meant it. They failed. They know what it feels like to have chunks of vow lodged beneath their fingernails from holding on with every inch of musculature. They have been pinned between the angry oak jaws of for worse and for poorer, and felt their own brittle bonework snap like kindling. And as penalty for not being able to withstand that pressure, they have been forced to watch the diamond in their wedding band slowly drift back to coal. The person you have chosen to love has had to pay therapists and lawyers and moving men because they had the audacity to leave before death gave them the permission to do it gracefully. They have loved people who have shamed them. They have shamed people that love them. They understand that sometimes the worst thing you can do to someone you love love. They've been slackly comforted by well-intentioned friends on sad-eye group outings where they are told not to worry. 50% of all marriages end divorce. What those friends forget is that 50% of people also believe in an angry, vengeful God, and that there is never comfort in being a statistic. The person you have chosen to love has trained themselves to sleep face first now because they can't trust their eyes not to spring open like caffeinated sparrows at every ghost in the hall, at every phantom in the floorboards, at every noise that leads them to believe that their former love has come back to them. And you will never know the shame and the relief that coats you like a stale, saddened sweat when you realize you are still alone. So you know this, and know this most importantly. In your chest, you do not have a heart. You have a forest fire. It is a 10-alarm, God-chiseled, glorious glow. It is what God created the word golden for. It is glorious. It is a gift, and you are placing it at the doorstep of a burn victim. Do not be surprised when they do not reach out with their withered fingertips to touch the flames. Do not be surprised when they do not remember that fire brings warmth. Do not be surprised when all they remember is the screaming. So this book is that come in. It is for sale over there on that table for $8, and you should go buy this or any other of the collection that we have over there. There's several new from Moontide Press, Swimming with Elephants Press, and there's another one that I'm drawing a blank on. But yeah, there's some used books as well. I promise your next favorite book is over there. And if it's not now, the next poet's chapbook should be very, very soon. I don't think we've spoken about it. So warm your hands like this. Yeah, because that's what you're going to be doing. The next poet come to the stage is Daniel!
Yeah, Daniel!
My phone guides me through muddy gravel. It points flares out the puddles, it brightens. I am 40 steps out my front door. Widowmakers squeal their wish to rustle my hair. Cute aggression is still aggression. A shattered spine is still a spine, or two. I open the gate, stroll forward. I don't see my car. I continue to stroll. My house windows are black. The thunder sounds like a vain god. My shoes begin to quiet. My ears stop taking calls. The judge in the cloud bangs his gavel loud enough to hear nothing. The old growth's arm forsake brushing and begin to tug, hover, coerce. I'm not going to her house again. She died from cardiac arrest in her bed. There is no one to be groomed by. The bark smells like a smoker's living room. Make that applause all the louder for the next awesome poet, Steph!
Hi everyone. Where's my phone? Stupid is a way to describe things that are understood, a way that's unfamiliar, a method outside of the unexplained, or an unexplainable. This is like my second draft. You're doing great. Anyways, my mind swims in seas of images, soups stirred together in superimposed circles, carousel horse running round and round, motionless. A static loop that seems to move returns time and time again to the beginning. To squeeze thoughts through the tiny peephole of neurotypical expression is excruciating. Words require premeditated action. Lifelong trauma has a vice grip on my teeth, and I spit them out carefully one at a time. My head is full of bees, overworked and overwhelmed, eyes glued to the impending train wreck of thoughts, blinded from loving the sun too long. I can't pull the lever fast enough to divert the river's flow away from my body laid across the tracks. Poetry is the filter through which my dumb mouth can be pried open. I can edit and edit and edit, strip away the details that dull the message, and sharpen my words into surgical scalpel to try and get the point across. It takes time for the slow fire to burn, smoldering, simmering, away out of sight. Hold space for the intuition, the things that can't be seen. Turn down the heat, or the bottom will burn before the pot boils over. You've known the recipe for a while now. Now keep that clapping going for the next poet. Up to the mic, Alex.
Yeah, Alex! Hell yeah!
Hey, party people. Oh, the mic doesn't work still. Oh, okay. Well, you guys didn't expect this, but I'd like to introduce you to my family. That's so beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, Tobago, awesome plants. Awesome plants. You guys should check it out. But, all right, my poem is a classic Alex poem. It's called Theorize, and it's about deconstructing my faith, which I'm Mexican-American 5th generation, and my family, long before these 5 generations, was colonized into Catholicism, so it's about that. I don't theorize about God too much these days. I'm a little jaded from the ways that God has been portrayed, like, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy he's. You know, Jesus could have been easier a woman than been born a virgin birth. And the Holy Spirit, with its audacity to be written as a he, as if to say woman isn't even worthy of being a ghost in the story. Mary Magdalene is still called a slut, while Mother Mary is exonerated in her virginity, and the glutinous sexual sexism of convincing generations on generations that humanity was birthed from Adam. Like ribs have shit on the fertility of the womb. Like man ever stood a chance of existence without all of the women who birthed them. And guess what? They were not virgins. And they're not second-class citizens, even though they're reduced to static characters in this tale where, let's get into it. Father God elicits the power of Holy Spirit God to spiritually rape and inseminate an unsuspecting 13-year-old Mary, to use her to give birth to himself, Jesus God, to then sacrifice his birth self back to his non-corporeal self, Father God, and then send himself Spirit God back to earth as round 3 in this circle jerk salvation story. The convolution used to make it compelling, but now it just sounds kind of stupid, and I'm angry because despite that story, I know humanity didn't start from any he. That's not how species work. And I see that this God equals sexism. So I don't theorize about that God too much these days, especially after I learned about how white people didn't just colonize most of this earth, but apparently done laid claim to the afterlife too. See, growing up I never questioned just how white Jesus stood, splayed across the crucifix statue and facing out towards a fully brown congregation. I never questioned it, but you can get the subconscious message. It's that white isn't just holy, it's the most godlike. You know, before our ancestors, before the Europeans came, we had our own practices. Fuck Mel Gibson's Apocalypse for being a forefront twisted exposure of it. They never skip a beat to paint us as barbaric, and I imagine a world where my ancestors' spirituality never got raped and slaved from our memory to be replaced by this Christianity. And I see that this God equals colonization. So I don't theorize about God too much these days. I mean, come on. First, he tricked me into believing that I was inherently doomed enough to need saving, and then presented himself as both the creator of my wretchedness and the solution to it, leaving me gaslit, full of questions, and charged with the task of filling in all the plot holes and gaps to make sense of a problem that I wouldn't even have had if he had just minded his own goddamn business. And frankly, I've grown tired of emotionally laboring for men who will never compensate my time. And I shouldn't ever have to prove my worth from my knees, and I see that this God equals mental slavery. Now I'm standing and I see I was never broken or damaged. Read savage and unsymbolized. And neither my mind, body, or soul need to be colonized. No, I don't theorize about that God anymore. Decolonization is a full-time gig, and it is worth it to release old masters and become my own. In these growing years, I'm becoming more and more interested in symbiotic relationships where no one needs saving. Instead, I'm growing into a faith that labors in community. Sleeves rolled up and arms deep in dirts of self-accountability. Working like I actually believe in healing. In redemption, in times past any depressions, because they come. It is loving others who love themselves. A blood allegiance fruitful as fertilizer. Leaves growing in wild unfurling, some dying too. Just an offering to the cycle that is all. If I may presume, a God that is all.
Y'all give it up for Alex one more time. That is definitely classic Alex. Love that poem. Daniel, we're gonna try one more time to see if we can get it back. But next is our feature, Nico. How y'all feeling? Give it up for Nico.
Yeah, Daniel!
Give it up for Daniel! Thank the Lord. Alright. So, I'm gonna read Nick's bio, but also just tell you about them because they're amazing. Nico, aka Nick, is a poet and writer from the Mount Shasta area. They stumbled into slam poetry as a teenager and intentionally built a home in the art of words. It is out of survival and love they've recently crafted their first chapbook, Catharsis. And this chapbook is $8 to $10 on a sliding scale.
That's practically free.
So when I say, there we go, all right. But Nick has been part of our community for years now, and just is an amazing, incredible human that is always so supportive of everyone. And I've said since the very first time they came up onto our stage at Northtown and read a poem, I was like, you're my favorite poet. And that still ain't a lie. That ain't a lie. You're my favorite poet, Nick. And I'm so grateful you're gonna come share our words with us and be a feature at Word Humboldt today. And y'all better give up all the energy you got and give all the love and everything you have for Nico all the way to the stage.
emotional topics, including suicide, verbal abuse, physical abuse. So if any of you need to take a moment, a breather, step away, take in the beautiful redwoods, please feel free to do so. Yeah, take care of yourself, your hearts, your minds. And I'm gonna put on my glasses. Just one moment. of work, you know, really was built in a time of my life where I was really struggling. I was experiencing some pretty deep depression and have been clinically depressed for most of my life. I'm doing a lot better now, so that's good. But I think that, you know, right now, with everything that's happened this last year, this is something that's not uncommon. It's really prevalent. And even before that, it was very prevalent, and yet mental health is still so stigmatized. So I aim and I hope to share my work, even though it's fucking terrifying to stand in front of all of you beautiful people. It's terrifying to put out that work and be vulnerable in those ways, but I know from reading people's work that have touched my life, including many of you that are here today, that some of those words got me through it, and some of those words helped mirror what I was feeling. So thank you for being here, and I'm going to go into my first poem, which I was not intending on reading, but it's not in this book. It's kind of like some new shit, but it's just, yeah.
Hey, let's go.
My belly aches with letting go. Grief comes fast and without warning, bubbles to the surface, and I hate showing this face, not of strength, of anger, sadness, despair, of helplessness. When they're gone, they're gone. All we can do is remember them, honor them. I am coming to learn more about you in 1 month than I've known my whole life. I am coming to know your heartache mirrors the cuts and burns of my adolescence. And they told me I am dramatic, and they told me I am sensitive, and they told me it'll pass, and I am strong. Born from women who learn to laugh in the face of abuse. And I am strong, and that is unrelated to brain chemistry. I want to plant you down near a big tree or the ocean, something vast, so you know you were not nothing. You were loved and cared about, even if it didn't seem so. And on those days, I find myself in such dark shadows, I will remind myself I am your daughter. I am like a redwood, trunk rooted, strong, or some days the ocean, changeable and infinite. I am 2 years sober, minus a few episodes of SI, and I am 2 years on SSRIs. I no longer want to kill myself, but you did. And I'm so sorry for your pain, Dad. I have been living every moment these last 2 years dedicated to healing this generational trauma, this ache, this poisoned blood, so my children will feel a body unincarcerated, a body free, a body their own. Dad, I bet when you killed yourself, you thought no one would come for your body. I bet you thought no one would notice. My whole life, I've noticed your absence. And again, I am. May you rest in peace under the redwood trees or the breeze of the ocean. May another life wrap you up in its arms of love and light. May you no longer feel the plight, the suffering of this life.
Yep.
I love you all too. That was very hard to read. My father committed suicide in March, so it's actually a pretty recent thing that happened, but I felt for my own peace and for him that I really wanted to share that. So thank you so much for being present for that. All right, and this is after Ryan McClellan. This is a prompt that I was given in Will's class, and the prompt is when I die. I'm so sorry. Like, this is all sad shit, so like, we all need to go now.
Bum me out!
When I die, I hope graves gather to meet me. I hope the earth is as porous as it looks. When rain washes into gutters and reaches the deep layers of the land, I hope it will drink me. I wonder if my mother will meet me here. And the mothers of my mother, I wonder if when bones turn to dust, then I will find peace. If my mother will stop pouring blood onto concrete and naming it damned instead of calling it death. If in these pools she'll ever see butterfly wings instead of demons. When I die, will my grandmother's hands reach up vine branch fingers around me, call me home? Will they remember me to the earth? I find umbilicals sometimes in my mother's mouth. They crawl out and tie themselves to our ancestors when she twists tongue around broken, around narrative rich in the merit of survival. She also ties them to my own throat, heart, lungs. I can't figure out the difference between breaking the cycle and breaking the cord or breaking my own mother's heart. You see, I speak in different tongues now. The tongue of educated, the tongue of nonviolence, the tongue of pretending not to hunger, the tongue of my mother's dreams for me come manifest. We never could have imagined the ramifications of death. I speak the tongue of death too. Speaking new tongues come rich with new accents my mother cannot understand. The tongue of educated, you see, warrants you think you're better than us, or you may be book smart, but remember where you came from. Sometimes the tongue of educated bites down on twists, asks one to forget the tongue of home. My mother will tell you now, I always spoke the tongue of home with the wrong accent, and of death with none. I speak the tongue of death too, of wishing for my own. I wonder if I die first, I can reach up through the layers of loam and call her home. When I die, I hope for what remains to call